Hello, boys. We've got round 5 of Lomachenko versus Haney today to study. I made one on Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia, but I can't get the flipping upload done, so hopefully that will be coming in the week as well. But yeah, haven't watched this round again, just random. So let's see what we can find today. Okay. So I've done a ton of studying over my boxing fight watching journey. I'll tell you what, most of that has just been Lomachenko's looks, just watching them. He does things on repeat, but he's very excellent at them. Right now, you're going to see him go into a looks backwards. And how's he going to do that? He's going to keep that block look up and down. Level change here, slip feint. Okay? Excellent look backwards. We've got to get better at our looks backwards, guys. I know people say don't move in straight lines, but you want to give the impression that you're not even moving in a straight line, that you're just inching away from them, but keeping the distance, okay? So Devin Haney also is using his small looks, keeping that block hand up, slipping off, and then he's going to jab. Now, what is he going to jab? I think he even tries for the gloves here, which is a good touch jab. You can see him step in with it. Lomachenko slips off to his right, avoids it, but also gives the sense to Haney that, this person isn't going to be easy to hit. He's elusive. And obviously, it's round 5, so he already knows that, but the timing of the slip is very important. Level change here, boom, slip there. And what's he going to do? Break his base, get back into there. I've always considered this actually an unnecessary movement from Lomachenko when he does this. So it's almost like he's trying to regain balance again and has to readjust his base. He always comes back into it with a feint, which is good. But I've always felt like it's an easy way to close the distance a bit quicker on him, and he doesn't get his offense started just as quickly. I feel like he was doing it a lot in the Tiafimo fight. Anyway. So boom, he gets back into position, feints back Haney, moves off to his right now. Now, obviously, as he moves off to his right, closing the distance between Haney's left hand, Haney does the right thing here. He's looking for a counter here. A couple feints, slips inside, and a hook over the top. Now, look how quick Lomachenko squeezes off this jab. Jab forward, squeeze. Now, he does get hit, don't get me wrong, but that's a good squeeze. Takes the right hand, moves back, resets off to the right. And a long reset, okay? To all the people that do 2 steps and then pivot off. Look at this, longer reset. He's near the ropes, so what's he going to do? Get back to a point where it's a little bit safer for him. And what does he do straight back? It's what we practice in our 4 decisions. Feint back, boom. That's a little feint there. Haney's respectful of it. And he steps back himself, okay? Now, Haney's going to feint back himself as part of his looks forward. Right now, as you can see, Haney's feet, he's sort of staying in position, level changing, moving a bit backwards. Most of this fight was just exchanging looks, and both of them, especially Haney, really trying to match what Lomachenko was doing in terms of his looks activity. So he feints here. Lomachenko raises his guard. Lomachenko steps forward with that block feint, with that lead hand, slips here, and then as he takes this low position, he's a bit far, and when someone's in a low position but they're a bit far, it sort of kind of gets easier to mark when they are. When they're in a low position at closer range and they stay there, hang on, let me say that again. When they're at a closer position and then they level change, it's always a bit more threatening because they can come over the top. But when they're at a further position and they level change and stay there, you always have the feeling that you can hit them. So what does Haney do? He's going to straight away capitalize on this. He gets into that low position and Haney's going to say, no, one, and then he feints to the body excellently here. I also don't think he could have found a shot there. I think Lomachenko's squeeze was pretty good there. So he just pushes him back to the ropes, okay? So touch. You can see how much touches bother. Lomachenko, does he shuffle backwards? No. And everyone's going to say, oh, well, yeah, he's Lomachenko. Great. Don't get me wrong, I love Lomachenko. This isn't the correct way of moving backwards. This isn't the correct way of moving backwards, okay? That's why we practice our shuffle steps. Yes, I'm not an Olympic gold medalist, but it just isn't correct, okay? Breaking your base like this backwards, hunched over, exposing the body. It's a slower exit, and it's not as effective, okay? Very simple, all right. Haney feints him back into the ropes. What's Lomachenko going to do? Going to make a smart decision. Feint back straight away as he regains his base. This is the base break drill we were doing the other day. Feint back. Haney puts out his lead hand here. And then looks for a right uppercut and a left hook to the body. Excellent defense from Lomachenko. Now, after he feints Lomachenko, he's not an idiot. He's going to feint. He knows that's going to draw out some sort of counter. So he parries this lead hand, pivots off from the right uppercut, and then resets off away from the ropes. Pretty excellent defense. His stick's 101 really, but he's obviously using it at a high level. Obviously Haney here, he feels like he has him trapped. He feints, he looks for a counter straight away. I'm not sure if this is a counter or just like a retaliation 3, but Lomachenko feints, he puts out his lead hand, tries to find the right uppercut, and then tries to find the body shot. But Lomachenko, if you see here, has already broken his base, okay? And that just gives him a little millimeter more. I promise you it does, okay? And then what does Lomachenko do after his reset? Feints back straight away, okay? Stay in position, please, all right? That's what he says. He says, don't come forward anymore. Let me reset a little bit. And it slows down Haney, you see? Feint, boom, Haney steps back again. And now Lomachenko's going to do some head movement looks, going to have his high guard look, going to have his block look, going to have his slip look. He's now pushing Haney back. Look how close he is with the looks. A couple slip feints there. Haney's looking for a counter as he moves to his right here. He's looking for a counter. He's going to slip, jab, jab. Okay? We talked about the triple jab the other day, right? It's kind of the same principle here. Haney's going to slip here, jab, jab to his right. Lomachenko is obviously going to step back and try to jab over the top. Don't think any of their punches land. Could be wrong, but it doesn't really matter. Either way, Lomachenko feints back and Haney pivots out back to the center. It's kind of the same principle as the triple jab that we were talking about, okay? Regains the center, and now they're in a battle for the center kind of thing, you know? But the good thing about them is that they don't panic. They don't panic when they're on the outside, you know? They're really, they're focusing on getting back to the center as soon as the other person can commit or they can force them there, you know? It's not necessarily, you don't need to press a panic button every time you're on the outside. You don't, okay? Just calmly make your way back there. All right. And you see all the methods they use, right? Okay, so back in the center, Lomachenko slip looks here. High guard, slip look, high guard, slip look. Inching his way forwards. Look at his feet here. Look how subtle it is. Haney's looking for a counter as he steps back before. So he's just keeping the distance. Look at these tiny steps from Haney. And he's now stepped back properly. He's given himself enough space. He thinks that Lomachenko's about to throw the left hand, I think. Lomachenko obviously feints it here. So he shoulder rolls and comes up with a right uppercut to the body. Excellent shot. Excellent shot. And that is only landing because of the commitment that he has to it. Does that make sense? He is only landing because of the intention behind that shot. It was going to go through his body and his head, you know? So, boom, whoosh. And then what does he do? Little frame of the lead arm and shuffle away, okay? Walking someone subtly down like this, like Lomachenko's doing, if you get caught, you may square up, okay? This isn't as sideways on as Lomachenko usually. It's still pretty sideways on, don't get me wrong. But he gets caught here as he tries to throw out a left-hand shot. and then he has to readjust his base straight away because he wasn't as sideways on as he would have liked to have been. Okay. After Haney shuffles back, he moves off to his right. Lomachenko's going to cut him off. Looks forward again. He tries for the jab. Haney slips inside. So what does he do? He takes an angle. Haney, absolutely excellent here. Pivots with him, okay, and stays in front of him. That could have been not necessarily dangerous for Haney, but draining for Haney if he didn't do that inside pivot. Do you understand? Okay. So yeah, obviously Lomachenko does his looks, bam, forward, pivots off, and then they're back in front of each other. They regain their center, and then they're both giving each other looks here. Lomachenko's giving a level change feint. Haney's still looking for a counter. You can see him be a little bit defensive now, and he's going to say, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to throw back. 1, 2, and that's it. But that was good. All right. So you can see him be a little bit defensive. I don't know if this is sort of a situation where you'd say, oh, well, he's throwing out the counter anyway, like we've talked about. I don't know if that's a situation. I think he was just capitalizing on the situation. Lomachenko's in front of him. He's going to commit again. Jab forward. Look at that leap forward. This is what I mean by quick first step. Look how explosive that leap is forward. Do your jump squats, guys, like Epo. 1 forwards. Lomachenko obviously slips inside that jab, but then he gets caught square. And then boom. Gets caught to the body. Not a great shot, I don't think. Actually, it does look like a pretty good shot. But yeah. Lomachenko's broken his base now as Haney steps back. He slips. Just a little touch jab from Haney to keep him on guard. And then he moves backwards. Here's what I think. You can say who you want won this fight, whatever. Haney breaks his base a lot less than Lomachenko. And when I say breaks the base, he's keeping his normal bladed stance a lot more than Lomachenko is. That's just what I think, of this round at least, yeah? Jabs in, right hook to the body, step back, touch, and now he's going into looks backwards. He's even going a little bit faster. Lomachenko's going into looks forward. He's using the wand. Lovely lead handwork there. He feints. He steps. Lomachenko's looking for a counter. Look at him. High guard. Step back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great work from Lomachenko. Great work from Lomachenko. Okay. Obviously, Haney, as he's going into his looks backwards, he touches here, tries to do a little feint there, and then gets caught square on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, he doesn't get caught with everything because he rolls out. He rolls and shuffles back properly. But that is a very big confidence boost for Lomachenko. Haney tries to move off to his left. Sorry about that. Haney tries to move off to his left. Lomachenko jabs in. I'm going to probably do this video in 2 parts today just because I've been having some trouble with iMovie. So I'll just go till half the round and then we can end it there. All right. Haney breaks his base, moves off to his left. Lomachenko sees that he's has a little bit of momentum here, so he steps in with that jab. That's very bothering for Haney. And then Lomachenko also resets as to cut him off. Okay, he's looking forward. Both of them are using their touch jabs, their feints. Lomachenko's now trying to get inside at close range. Look, that's a roll look there. And he tries to parry and 2 back. Now he does get caught as he's coming in here. Haney's keeping the distance, keeping that lead hand out arm in the air. He feints it and then comes around with a hook as Lomachenko goes down. And then they clinch. All right. We won't get too much into this one. Okay, back to their looks, back to their movement. So as you can see, Haney's moving off to the right. Lomachenko's moving forward and back. That's a great feint, just the forward and back feint. Haney's given himself that Philly shell look to say I can catch and counter off my shoulder here. Lomachenko's not doing anything. He slips. And I think it was a big game plan here, as you can obviously see for Haney. As soon as Lomachenko does his famous slip look, step in with a jab. And it's always worked because as soon as Lomachenko does it, what will happen is he will break his base straight after. Okay? So, boom, boom. Lovely double jab from Haney. Lomachenko gets back into position and he tries to come forward. He jams that lead hand out straight away. I don't think that's a touch jab. It's more of a long, long parry. Okay, he jams it out as he does the slip look. Okay, Haney's obviously going to try and keep the distance. Haney sees that Lomachenko's breaking the distance, tries for the right uppercut, but Lomachenko's starting to adjust here, isn't he? He's starting to adjust. He slip looks while he jams the lead hand, and then he knows that the right hand is coming. It's the only logical thing. He's not going to jam the lead hand and then Haney's going to throw a left hook. He might, but it's rare, you know? And then Haney looks a bit silly here. Obviously, he's not, but it's just it makes him look a bit silly. He takes that outside angle, doesn't really capitalize on it, but it's draining. It's draining, especially in a pro fight. Which reminds me, you've got to watch more amateur fights. So please let me know who you want to see from amateur boxing. All right, Haney's a little bit dumbfounded here. Moves back off to his right, keeps that stick in long range, just that touch, that feint jab, this Philly shell look. As Lomachenko's closing the distance, slip looks, and then a parry feint. I don't know why it just came to me now, but the reason why I'm saying breaking his base is so annoying for Lomachenko, because you can clearly see that his tactics for this is get close, right? So if every time you break your base, you need to start again from a long range and you give someone the time to move backwards, you need to start again. And then guess what? You need to start again. And then guess what? You need to start again. And it gets to the point where you've wasted 30 seconds of a round. It really is that simple in my head. I you know, take it as you will, but that's what I'm seeing from all these base breaks from Lomachenko for no reason. Well, not no reason, but obviously from a difficult position. All right, they're still doing their slip looks. Haney's keeping the distance. More slip looks. Lomachenko's looking for a counter as soon as he sees that lead hand go up. Parry, 2. Again, Haney adjusts. He feints the lead hand, slips inside, and then tries to go for the body. Okay, really good. Lomachenko sort of gets into this really, really bladed stance and doesn't let him go properly to the body, and then closes the distance with his shoulder, rolls under this left hand here, and then moves back. Really, really high level exchange. This is one of my favorite technical fights. It was really, really good to watch. Anyway, they reset into the center of the ring. Lomachenko straight away, mental pressure, back to the jab. Devin catches off the shoulder, and a beautiful right uppercut there, okay? So Haney's already looking for a counter here. Catch, boom, lovely shot. Now what he's going to do, this is a great recovery position. He's landed this right uppercut here. He's not going to go back to his bladed stance. He's actually going to use his right shoulder forward just to push him off. And what does Lomachenko do? Breaks his base, has to start again, okay? Lomachenko steps forward. He's using his parry. He's trying to jam his lead hand. Again, Haney's looking for the counter. This time it's a sort of throw it out anyway. He catches it off the shoulder. He catches air, obviously, but he's going to throw it out anyway. And boom, into a right uppercut. Lovely shot. Tries to recover with his lead hand straight away. Moves back. Touch jab here. Resets to the right with a touch jab. Lomachenko is like, that is not in my face enough. I'm going to work my way in. Slips inside. And 1-2. Great shot. Okay, he's still resetting. He's walking off to his right here. Lomachenko staying in front of him. Very tough mental pressure from Lomachenko. That's one thing I can say. Damn, he's really, really, really high on that mental pressure. That's why most of the people just fatigue in front of him, you know. He's now in front of him. He's just going to decide to slip, look here, go straight into a simultaneous two. Okay, so when I say simultaneous two, I mean you want to throw it at the same time as someone's throwing their jab. So he obviously slips inside here, Lomachenko, and then he slips outside the jab and throws his left hand at the same time, and then tries for the double left hand, but obviously they get a bit smothered here.